please go ahead and start typing your questions so that we can answer those.
Good afternoon, everyone. As you guys are typing questions, I just want to say this is a great opportunity for you to ask your question all at one time rather than scheduling consultation. If your individual case requires a consultation, then fine. But we've been, we're limited in terms of how many consultations we can offer. So rather than spending your money scheduling a consultation, try to ask your questions here. We will try to answer as many as possible. And at the same time, we will provide a general information which can help all of you. Sorry, I just had a crazy day, so I apologize. My words are kind of going all over. So I'm going to start taking the questions. Santosh, if you want to give a kind of a summary, I'll start taking the questions.
I think the first question is from KU. I'm not going to mention the complete name. So my service was terminated because someone else used my identity for traffic violation and all that stuff. And I'm assuming that his service has been terminated. Okay. He's asking whether this case was dismissed. And I think his question is more regarding whether he needs to file for a reinstatement or lawsuit.
All right. If you've been a victim of identity theft, and you believe that your service has been terminated because of that, let us file a reinstatement application for you. Again, we're telling everyone in general, filing a reinstatement, whether you stay in the United States or whether you leave. If you leave, doesn't mean you abandon your case. If your service is approved, then you can still apply for a visa and come back. So it will help you generally. As far as like if the ICE comes or anything like that, we're telling everybody to please reach out to us immediately so we can assist you there.
Give me 1 second. I'm trying to see as many questions as possible. Okay, so first thing, I know a lot of individuals, their service have been terminated, okay, and they are looking at different options, right? Like one of the options they're exploring is to apply for reinstatement. The other one is to apply for a lawsuit, right? Here, anyone who has been charged with any crime, as long as they were fingerprinted, their service has been terminated. They did not look at what crime they have been charged with or the final disposition of that crime. Okay, so first thing, when we spoke to the ICE officer yesterday, he was very clear, right? Thing is, of course, there was only so far, there was only one case that we came to our attention, wherein the ICE officer went to the student's home, right? But the ICE officer clearly mentioned that they have received the information for all the students whose service has been terminated. So in as much as possible, try to be vigilant and just make sure you don't fall under the eyes of the ICE officer. At the same time, try to file for reinstatement and lawsuit as much as possible. Okay, but again, just because you file for reinstatement does not mean that ICE officials cannot deport you. Okay, until the reinstatement is approved. Jibran, do you want to add anything to it?
Yes. So, just few things. The lawsuit that we filed in New Jersey District Court. Santosh Garu and Vijay Garu were the attorney on that. The lawsuit that we filed, we did it pro bono. We didn't charge the client anything. It was done for community purpose. And if you're successful in the lawsuit, then obviously anyone who falls into the same scenario, same class, same situation, then we can start filing lawsuits for them as well. For Santosh wants to help the students. So as far as litigation goes, we're doing that pro bono. We're doing this for community. We're not charging anybody. For reinstatement application, it's a different situation because it requires a lot of manpower. It requires a lot of people who need to fill the application, complete everything, and all of that. So obviously there is a service charge. And in comparison to other firms, we're charging $1,500, which is significantly lower. Some firms out there are charging $9,000-$10,000. Some are charging $3,000-$4,000. So what do you need to file reinstatement? You need your court certified documents. That's the most important thing. You need your I-20. If you are an OPT or STEM OPT, yes, you will have difficulty getting I-20. However, in order to file the reinstatement, there is a requirement that there has to be an I-20. So we recommend trying to get it from somewhere, trying to get it from your university that you graduated from, or try to get it from a university, another university. If you know, the sooner you get your reinstatement application in, the better it is, because the clock is ticking as far as your out of status period in the United States. The longer you stay out of status, the harder it is for you to get new visa or get reinstated, because there could be a charge filed against you for remaining in the United States unlawfully. So that's why time is of the essence. Gopal, if you want to go through some of the questions, we'll be happy to answer. Anyone who's posted, if you can take a look at it, what questions they have, and Santosh and I are going to answer them.
So
Yes,
the
sir.
first preference would be for people whose cases have been dismissed, right? Those people who are wrongly charged or whose cases have been dismissed. So those cases are very good cases to be litigated first. Okay. Next one would be the traffic offenses and DUIs. After that is when we need to get to cases involving murder, like shoplifting and all those cases.
So the first question, sir.
Go ahead, please.
My friend visa got revoked and service got terminated because of the high speed 117 and 65 speed limit. Can you please help me on this?
Most likely that was not a speeding charge, it was a reckless driving charge, because going 117 on a 65 or 55, that's like trying to commit suicide or kill somebody. So it wasn't a speeding, it was probably a reckless, and it was a misdemeanor. If the charge was either regardless of whether you were found guilty, regardless of whether the charge was dismissed, still go ahead, collect all your documents. You know, on the affidavit, try to explain, we're going to say that obviously you are remorseful for your action, and file for reinstatement. Obviously we don't guarantee a result. All we can do is try. I'm sorry, when I said we don't guarantee a result, we don't guarantee, and I'll see what happens. You know, we'll make the best argument we can. All right, Gopal, go ahead.
Another question, sir. What if I get an I-20? Do I have a grace period? Can I legally stay in USA?
So there's no black letter law in terms of how many days you can stay. You know, based on this officer that we spoke to, he indicated that no, there used to be, but there's no actual black letter law. But a lot of letters that people are getting, it indicates 15 days. So we're expecting that 15 days should be okay. But the sooner we can get your reinstatement application in, the better. If you got your I-20, congratulations, because a lot of people are struggling getting that. Get all your documents in row. You know, if you don't need to schedule a consultation, that's great. Don't schedule one. Just email us at f1reinstatement@swamireddylaw.com. Again, f1reinstatement@swamireddylaw.com with all your documents. Say in the email that, hey, I want to apply for reinstatement. Please proceed with my case. And our team will send you documents, list of other documents that you need, and get your process started. Again, F1 reinstatement at Somireddy. When I say Swami, I mean Somireddy, SOMIREDDY, law.com.
Yeah, this question is for Santosh, sir. So my service and visa is terminated, but I got picked up in H1 lottery. Can I file reinstatement and H1 both? Are there any options? What chances of success do each option have?
Good. So you could do two things. One is, either leave the country and have your employer apply for H-1B so that you can go for H-1B stamping in India, right? That way, you can continue working from India during the process while your H-1B is still pending and you get the visa, right? The second option is ask your employer to file H-1B along with a change of status request, although your service is terminated, and then parallelly apply for reinstatement. If your reinstatement is approved, then your change of status from F1 to H1 could be approved. Okay, but unfortunately, we don't know how long this reinstatement process is going to take and how would what would be the outcome of that case.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Okay,
Nice.
the other thing I want to be very, very, very clear is that just because you file for reinstatement until it is approved does not mean that you are safe.
Friends, one thing I know there's a lot of rumors going on, that there's a lot of confusing information. There are some firms that are saying that if you file for reinstatement, only if you file for reinstatement, then the ICE will come to get you. That is complete nonsense, okay? They already have a list of students who are out of status. So if you're filing for reinstatement, you're actually helping yourself, because you are telling USCIS, hey, I'm taking an action. I learned of my service termination. I'm taking an action and I'm filing for reinstatement, and you stopping the clock. Okay, doesn't mean that ICE won't come. But the fact that some firms are saying that if you file for reinstatement, then ICE will come, it's completely false and baseless. So please, like, do your own research, look what you need to do. This is an opportunity to ask questions, so go for it.
Jibran sir, on what basis the students are targeted? Is it just protest, DUI, outside employment, speeding tickets, or more than that?
No. Unfortunately, if your fingerprints were taken and you're in the database, they have pressed the button and they have terminated everyone who's in that database. They did not care. No one took the time to look at each individual's case. And that's the unfortunate part. And that's the violation of due process, because they didn't care whether your case was dismissed. They didn't care whether there was a mistake. They didn't care it was a false complaint. They didn't care about any of that. And a lot of students are innocent. They haven't done any violent crime. They haven't done, maybe someone, drove without a license, but they had a license. They just didn't have it on their possession. So then they went to court and showed the judge a license, and their case was dismissed. But because they're in the database, some person pressed the button or issued all these emails that went out, and because you're on the database, your service has been terminated. And it's unfortunate now that you have to deal with this.
Santosh sir, I got another question. I got into DUI, but I'm not convicted yet. My service is terminated, visa got revoked. My university is not providing a reinstatement I-20 because I'm in my STEM OPT. What is a possible situation and solution for this?
Yeah. So even though you have not been convicted, since you have been fingerprinted, they did terminate your service. They didn't care whether you have been charged, you've been convicted, or whether the case has been dismissed, right? So see, here is the thing. Best option, if at all possible, is to leave the country, go for visa stamping and come back in. Again, if you're on OPT, the chance of getting F1 will be F1 visa is very little, but that's one of the option, right? That is the safest option. The second option is to file for reinstatement by getting a reinstatement I-20 from some other school, at the same time filing a lawsuit. Okay, the reason why I'm asking you to file for reinstatement is that if the reinstatement is approved, right, like during that, like whatever the time that you have spent will not be considered as unlawful presence, right? So until the case is denied, you'll not start accruing unlawful presence. That's the only reason why we say that it's better to apply for reinstatement parallelly. Okay, when it comes to the lawsuit, yes, go for it also. And I know they are issuing preliminary injunction, but it is for a limited period.
And Jibran sir, there is a question for you. I have a felony case in another couple of weeks. So do you want me to leave India, or do you want us to stay here?
Obviously, we cannot advise you to obstruct law and leave the country, because that would be then I would be charged for obstruction, and I don't want to do that. You would have to talk to, if you have a criminal attorney, you will have to talk to your criminal attorney and see what your bond conditions are, whether your bond condition allows you to travel or not travel, whether the court date could be extended or not extended. You have to, what you don't want to do is cause more complication for yourself by creating more trouble for yourself. Okay. So speak to your attorney, see what your attorney says to you, your criminal attorney that's handling this actual case. Speak to them, see what this says, look at your bond condition, look at the evidence, go through the evidence, see if, a lot of people just automatically and no one is blaming the students. No one is blaming the students. No one is trying to scare the students. The reason we're doing this is because right now we could be having paid consultation and not waste time here. But the reason we're doing is because we understand your situation. We sympathize with you guys. And we want to try to help as much as we can. Of course, we're limited. But do your study. Think logically. Make a decision based on everything that's available to you. Now, if you do decide to leave and this felony is still standing, that may create more problem because you'll never be able to come back. Let's say you're innocent, but you're scared and you decide to flee the country. The issue is that you'll be found guilty and you're absent and you'll never be able to come back. So talk to your criminal attorney and see what can be done. See if the prosecutor is willing to take into consideration your current immigration situation, and see if they're willing to offer you some sort of a plea, which is much better, or if they're willing to dismiss the case because the facts are not there and because of your current immigration situation. There are unlimited possibilities, but the only way you can find out what the possibilities are is by speaking to your criminal attorney or connecting us to your. There are a lot of clients who we are actually trying to work with their attorney, whoever is handling their criminal case. So figure out a way. Running away from a problem is not a solution to a problem. First, do your homework and then make a decision.
Santosh sir, we have been trying to get reinstatement from our colleges, but none of the colleges is providing with the I-20s. What is the best suggestion you give us?
So if you're not able to get the I-20s, then maybe you should just apply for be part of the lawsuit, and then I don't know what to say, but you need an I-20 reinstatement. I need not to apply for reinstatement. If not, the reinstatement would be denied.
It's likely to be rejected.
Yeah, it could be rejected too. And there is some good question from Abhishek, we have been hearing news of ICE activity deporting students. How serious is this? Mr. A, as of now, out of 700 plus individuals that we are aware of, one person received, only one person had this issue wherein ICE official went to his home. Okay. So apart from that, we did not hear about any other news, but be very vigilant. That's why, and this also came as a surprise to us because we thought nobody would come at least for the first 15 days. Okay. And based on the information that we received from the officer, the issue is much bigger than what we are thinking.
Yeah, on that point, as soon as we learned about this situation, it happened yesterday morning. We received the call. We spoke to the ICE officer, and Santosh wanted to inform the community and the student of this situation. We started receiving messages, oh, we're trying to scare students, we're trying to cause fear. No, that's not the agenda here. Agenda here is to inform you. Agenda here is to tell you to contact us if such thing arises, free of cost here, right? We're telling you, if an emergency happens, reach out to us, and we're going to try to speak to these ICE officers and these ICE agents. The officer that we were speaking to was very nice. We were able to prevent an arrest we were able to prevent an immigration charge to this individual. And this individual showed this ICE agent by sending a picture that he has already purchased a ticket or made a reservation to leave the United States this Tuesday. So we were able to buy some time. So this is to help the community. And I don't know, anyone who was posting on that session into Instagram, please step into the shoes of these students. They are worried, and we're trying to help them. So any of this nonsense that is being posted over trying to cause fear, it makes me mad, because that's not. Santosh hasn't slept for a couple of days now. We've been working nonstop on weekends, and this is to help you all, not to cause fear.
The next question, sir. I already have a ticket with misdemeanor, which was in August 2024. The case was not being filed until now. What are the things to do? My situation, and according to current times, I am an F1 student currently on OPT.
Okay, so the issue is whether he has been fingerprinted or arrested. Okay, if he was not fingerprinted or arrested, the chances of them coming after him will be very little.
What are the chances of changing the status? I know it's not possible, sir.
He can apply for a change of status now before his service is terminated. That's an option.
Yeah, but for the people whose F1 is revoked, is there any chance for them to change the status?
No, because they are already out of status. They cannot apply for a change of status. Okay, some of them are trying non-proton, which is requesting change of status from a previous date. But if it is denied, they'll have already accrued the unlawful presence. So it's risky, but they could try if they want to.
Jibran sir, this question is for you. I have never went to any of the criminal cases, but I got my service terminated. What can I do?
Unfortunately, whoever this question is, I'm sorry, but somehow you're in that database. It's possible maybe your visa was revoked before and then reinstated, or because we've had cases where individuals have never come across a law enforcement officer. They've never even seen an officer, talked to an officer, never went to court, never had any charges, but their visa has been revoked and their service has been terminated. Yes, we have had individuals like that. For some of those individuals, is because when they were trying to enter the country, CBP officer was asking them question. They were denied entry. They had to go back. Then they reapplied and submitted some financial documents. They were re-given visa. Then they re-entered. Now, because they're in their database, because of the deny entry or because of something like that, they're in their database. If you receive service termination or visa revocation, somehow, somewhere you got fingerprinted and you are in that database. And that is the reason why today your service has been terminated. So if your case is such like that, where you haven't done anything wrong, you haven't violated your non-immigrant visa conditions, then you have a good chance of getting your reinstatement approved. So my recommendation would be to get everything possible and, ready to move. So file your reinstatement, and Santosh Garu and his team will work on your case.
And Santosh sir, I am on H1B and my wife is on F1 and her service got terminated. Can she transfer her status to under me as a dependent?
Okay, Gopal, based on instead of having to worry about applying for reinstatement and all, in this case, it may be worth for her to just depending on what she's been charged with. If the case has been dismissed, then maybe it's worth for her to just go get her H4 stamping, come back on H4.
Can you please confirm which state and what was the case the student of the ICE agent knocked the door of the student, if it permits you to share? Jibran sir.
We cannot share the name or the state, but we can share the charge that he was. Jibran, you want to share about the charge?
It's irrelevant, right? It's irrelevant what this person was or what this person's situation was. I can briefly give you, but everyone is different. And I know there are some attorneys out there who are saying we're going to do a class lawsuit. Good luck. I hope it works out. We really do hope it works out. Once our lawsuit is successful for this one individual, we're going to attempt to do it at no charge for a lot of people. but everyone's case is different. Some students, like this individual early question was like, I have no criminal charges. I've never seen a police officer, but yet my service has been terminated. It's completely different than someone who was found guilty of an amended charge from a DUI to, a loitering or traffic violation. Their situation is different. So this individual, the reason ICE agent came was because his case was dismissed. He was charged with a criminal case. His case was dismissed because ICE agent told us on the phone that, hey, the same time all these students got an email saying their visa has been revoked and an email from university saying that their service has been terminated. At the same time, we got a list of students whose visas has currently been revoked and whose service has been terminated. Same time. So this agent has been working as an ICE agent for 21 years. That's what he told us. And he said he feels bad doing what he's asked to do, but it is his job to do it. So your case will be completely different. That person's case is completely different, but it's not relevant what happened in this situation. What is relevant is that it happened, and unfortunately, it's gonna happen more and more. That's why we're making you aware, so you're aware. Okay, worst comes to worst, be ready. If you don't do anything, let's say you don't apply for reinstatement, you don't leave the country, you don't do anything, just be ready. If it happens, at least you have your documents, at least you have your belongings ready, at least you have your valuable, maybe you have a car, maybe you have jewelry, whatever the case is, at least put all these things, because once they take you, or once you leave the country, you're not going to be able to come back to collect your valuables. You're not going to be able to, I'm sorry, it's an unfortunate situation, but that's what it is.
So while I file a lawsuit, can I go back to India, and how can I fight from India?
That can be done, but what is the use of filing a lawsuit if you're going back to India? Because even if the lawsuit goes through, right? Okay, your status will be reinstated, but you still need a visa to enter back into the country, right? You'll anyways have to attend visa stamping. So lawsuit or reinstatement are options only for somebody who wants to stay back and not for somebody who wants to leave the country. If you want to leave the country, just go. Don't spend any money on any of this stuff. Okay, best thing is to go for stamping and come back in. Right, especially for those people whose charges have been dismissed or who do not have any criminal background. For those people, my recommendation is just to go out of the country, go for stamping, come back in. Okay, but if there is a problem in your case, for example, if you're charged with a misdemeanor or a felony, or if or any crime involving moral turpitude, then you have to be more cautious.
What is the details which we have to provide you and be a part of the litigation case which Somireddy is fighting?
Okay, so for now, the way we are doing it is, first we are selecting the best cases. Okay, the best cases are cases wherein the person was either incorrectly charged or the charge has been dismissed. Okay, after that, we'll go in steps. Then we'll go with cases where the person has been charged, he's been convicted of something, but it does not lead to a level that makes him inadmissible. Right, so we'll go in steps. Again, see, the other thing is with these lawsuits, getting a temporary restraining order is not sufficient. All we are doing is applying for temporary restraining order. That is only for temporary purposes. That does not mean that your service is reinstated completely. Does it make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so here what we're doing is for temporary purposes. That's not a permanent solution, right? Unless the service has been reinstated.
There's one individual, Jainati Lakshmi. She keeps saying, I paid for reinstatement, or I paid for reinstatement. Yes, thank you, we're working on your case. The team is working on your case, and if you've paid, we're gonna be filing it. Just have a little bit of patience. There's a lot of people. Sorry, guys. I know some of you are upset a little bit, and I don't blame you. We're working on it. There's a lot of stuff that we have to do. We're gonna be start getting applications out soon, like probably some today, some on Monday, some on Tuesday. It's gonna start happening.
Is
It's just
there any
And also,
premium
please
processing,
choose
sir?
the email chain with your case ID. Please do not keep on sending messages randomly, like emails randomly. Okay. We want you to use one email chain per case and use the same email chain that has your case ID. If not, it's creating a lot of confusion because there are so many cases.
someone say, "Can I talk?" Unfortunately, there's so many people. If we allow people to talk, we're not gonna have any. Just type your question, please. Gopal, continue with the questions.
Is there any premium processing for reinstatement?
Not at this point of time.
Again, here there are some firms out there. There's a lot of miscommunication and misinformation. Some people believe there is a premium processing. Santosh has clearly said on multiple occasions there is no premium processing.
Premium processing is available if you're applying for a change of status to F1, but not for F1 reinstatement.
I have a felony level 9 shoplifting case which is dismissed. What are the chances of approving reinstatement I-20?
We
And
don't
what
know. We're not going to say here like, okay, you have 90% chance or you have 50-50, because this is an unprecedented situation. Yes, previously, there have been students whose SEVIS has been terminated, whose SEVIS has been terminated, whose visas have been revoked, but this is mass scale. When it used to happen, they would review case by case, and they would look at the facts of the case and they would make a determination. This one, there hasn't been any review. So that's why they were saying there's due process violation. It's like saying to me, Jibran, I'm guilty, but I don't even get an opportunity to say that I'm not. Okay? So that's a violation of Constitution. If the foundation of this country is, if someone is charged with something, told that they're guilty of something, they're given an opportunity, and the government has the burden to prove they're guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. And I'm innocent until I'm found guilty. Okay? But in this situation is unprecedented, where a lot of these people's cases are pending. They haven't even gone to trial. A lot of these people's cases, when I say people, I mean students. A lot of these students haven't been charged of any criminal wrongdoing, like the gentleman who posted a question saying, I've never been charged with any criminal case. So all these people, just because they're in the database, now are unfortunately having to go through this. So it's unprecedented. So we cannot sit here and say, oh, you have a 90% chance or you have a 100% chance of getting your reinstatement approved. The truth is, we do not know. All we can do is try and hope we put the best case forward, try it, and get some success. Meanwhile, there are lawsuits. There was one lawsuit today in New Hampshire where the judge, Santosh, if you want to talk about that case, where the judge granted granted a temporary injunction.
Yeah.
Go ahead, please.
So in the New Hampshire District Court, the judge has granted a temporary injunction order, allowing the student to continue studying. But again, it's only temporary. It's not that his service will be reinstated completely, right? But at least it's some relief so that we would know more, like maybe things would change in the next 1 month or 2 months. Okay, maybe the government will back out on this one. So at least something is happening. So that's some good news, that at least the judges are agreeing with the students that their service should not have been arbitrarily terminated, right? In violation of the Fifth Amendment rights and also Administrative Act.
So there's one question. College is asking for a letter from attorney to issue reinstatement I-20. An official letter from your immigration attorney explaining the perceived reason for your service termination and their recommendation for reinstatement. Will you able to provide that?
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
here we have been doing it, but when it comes to the reasoning, right? There is the reasoning that they mentioned in the service is they're just saying that hey, your records showed up. You did not maintain your status because your records showed up in some criminal charge, in criminal database, right? So all we are doing is just saying that hey, this person should not have been is not inadmissible, and then his reinstatement should be approved and requesting for the reinstatement.
Okay. Just to add to that, yes, we will provide a letter or we will send an email to your DSO officer. But again, we're getting thousands of emails. So if you are one of those individuals where your DSO officer is asking that an attorney sends an email or attorney sends a letter, and then we will issue you a reinstatement. So what you want to do is first email F1 reinstatement at somireddylaw.com. Tell them you want to start your reinstatement application. You send a second email your DSO officer, and then CC us in that email, CC F1 reinstatement at somireddylaw.com. And then on the subject line, say, please say that a letter is required for DSO officer or something like that. And in the cover letter, say, DSO officer, dear DSO officer, I want to introduce you to my attorney. My attorney wants to send you a letter or email requesting for a I-20. Then we will respond to that email asking for I-20. But we can only do that first if you become, like if you sign the engagement letter, if you email the F1 reinstatement. We cannot say to a DSO officer that we represent this client when you're not our client.
To issue these and to work on these reinstatement, the general question of people, how much we are charging, sir? Can we discuss
Was
it
that?
here? Like to issue these reinstatement letters from the attorney or to file a reinstatement, how much is
No, we
Somireddy
are
Law
charging a
Publishing?
flat fee. We are charging a flat fee of 1,500. We will
Yes.
not be charging anything separately for the letters and all that stuff.
But we will only be doing this if we are actually doing a reinstatement for you. So we're not going to charge you extra for emailing your DSO officer. That's not correct. We're going to do that in the same package. There's no additional fees.
I have booked my flight tickets for Sunday. And before that, if ICE knocks my door, what can I do?
You have nothing to worry. Just show them the ticket and they understand. They will not, if you show them the ticket that you're leaving on Sunday, okay, and then just maybe like if you have any, it could be us or any other attorney, just have them, if they knock on your door, have them speak to the attorney, and then the attorney, as long as the attorney can say that, hey, he's leaving on certain date, they're okay with it.
And if you still are
This point
having
of time.
issues, reach out to our
Yeah, reach out to us in
number.
case of emergency. Yeah.
I am leaving the country today, and what are the chances of me coming back on H1B?
It all depends upon the your situation. You're trying that the charge that you've been charged with, the crime that you've been charged with. And somebody by name Akhil has been asking, how much do you charge for the lawsuit? I'll tell you, Akhil. Akhil, for now, we did not charge anything for the lawsuits. Okay, because that we are under impression that if we are able to get it for some good candidates, then we can replicate it to for other people so that it will help everybody in turn. Right?
So we're doing
So
it
we are
pro bono.
not been charging for like as of now. Okay,
Yeah.
but in future, yes, we would be charging for the lawsuits.
Another school is agreed to give a reinstatement I-20, and they are asking me to transfer from present school. What if I transfer from present school to other school? Will that work?
Yeah, you can get any free reinstatement ID from any school.
But they have to go for a
But once
stamping.
your service is reinstated, you will have to be attending as per that the school as per that I-20.
Will they have to go for a stamping, sir?
Well, if reinstatement is approved, they don't have to go for stamping. That is the reason why we are applying for reinstatement, right?
Most of the questions are related to the same, sir. Like, if you want to give any other suggestions or any other things.
No, I'll be one thing, I'll be very frank, okay? Even as attorneys, we are in dark right now. We don't know what exactly, how this administration is acting, okay? So even ICE officers are like, who have us, that we spoke to, he was he was concerned, right? Typically, they would issue a notice to appear and then have the immigration attorney contact them. But this time, they're not providing any of those options. Okay, so to be frank, I'll tell you something. Nobody is 100% sure whether the reinstatement is going to work. Lawsuits also, we can probably get temporary injunction, temporary restraining order, but doesn't mean like we may or we may not be able to get the SEVIS reinstated completely.
Jibran,
Right.
sir, there is one
So-
question for you. I'm away from the place where I used to live. Can ICE track my phone? Or do you want me to shut down or switch off my phone or run away?
Why
It's a
on that
question.
one?
You're on mute, sir. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Zibra is on mute. Okay, let me just take it down.
Okay. Sorry. I'm really sorry you even having to think like that. It's terrible. It's terrible that you have to in United States of America, you have to think about all this fear. And I feel for you. I really do. Number one, do not turn off your phone because you need it for emergency contact. Somebody wants to reach out to you. Maybe your parents want to contact you. I'm sure they're worried. A lot of your parents, I'm sure they're worried sick for you guys because you're abroad. They don't know how to help you. They don't know what to think about you. So do not turn off your phone. Maybe they want to contact you. ICE cannot track your phone. Okay, they got better things to do. Number one. Number two, if ICE wants to come to your house, it's not, look, I said earlier, I'm saying it now. There's no reason to be so scared. Worst comes to worst, you have to leave the country. You have gained great education by coming to the United States. I know you have spent a lot of money, and this is not what you want. This is not how you saw your future. But just because, let's say, if you have to, let's say, if you try your best, you did the reinstatement, or you decide to go back, it's not the worst thing in the world. India's economy is booming. Okay, you're going to survive one way or the other. You have gained great education. Just because you're having to leave, it's not the end of the world. What we want to make sure, and we've been trying to say this, and that's why we did the session yesterday. What we want to make sure is to avoid you being arrested by ICE. If ICE comes to your door, cooperate. If you're really scared, call us. I promise I'll jump on the phone. I'll talk to them. We'll do whatever is necessary. Okay? But do not freak out. Do not say, like, some students are so worried. Like, I've spoken to some and I really feel bad for them. They're so worried because they're like, oh, I want to commit suicide. This is ridiculous, guys. Don't do anything like that. You have a great future ahead of you. Okay? You're going to survive. You're going to do well regardless. Whether it's here, whether it's in India or in any other country. You're smart. If you could come to United States for education, you are smart. Okay? So it's not the end of the world. If ICE comes, cooperate, tell them you're going to leave voluntarily. If they require that you book a ticket right there and then, book a ticket right there and then show them. If worst comes to worst, call us. We'll talk to them. So they won't arrest you and you can leave voluntarily. But don't panic like that I want to turn off my phone. No. Fight meaning be smart. Don't do anything crazy. All right?
How to be a part of the lawsuit?
US,
Santosh, you want to take that?
give us some time. We will be able to confirm on that.
So any
So the
words?
thing is, we are waiting on the outcome. We are waiting on the outcome of the current lawsuit that we have filed. We want to see how that goes. As soon as we're successful, which we believe we will be, then we can do lawsuits for anybody that wants to. But it's going to take a little bit of time. But the key is, if you are going to remain in the United States, you have to make a decision whether you want to remain, whether you want to stay and see what happens, or you want to go back. If you decide you want to go back, that's up to you. Don't waste your money. Don't waste anything. Book a ticket, collect your belongings, and go back. If you do decide you want to file for reinstatement, let us help you, or let your other firms help you, or you can file on your own. It's up to you. And then, buy some time, meaning stop the clock of unlawful stay in the United States. And when it comes to lawsuits, we're going to start filing lawsuits. All right, Gopal, let's take a couple more questions and then end it, please.
Yes, sir. So what is the timeline we are expecting from or feedback from the USCIS to reinstate the SEVIS? Is there anything like that?
We don't know. It could take 3 months. It can take 6 months. They're getting a lot of applications. So, like I said, it's unprecedented. We don't know exactly how long it's going to take. But the good thing is, the sooner you get it and you get a receipt notice, the better it is.
Yeah. So we mostly covered the same random questions asked by most of the people here. And if you have any suggestions from your end, like anything, if you would like to let them know on the service terminations, on the ICE, etc., please go ahead, sir.
Santosh, if you want to summarize it, that would be good.
I don't know what to say, but just be cautious. Okay, just be careful. Stay away from any new trouble, and then try to do your best. So if you have an option of going back to home country, please do so. If that is not an option at all, then think about filing for reinstatement or a lawsuit. Okay, but just because you file for reinstatement, until doesn't mean that you are 100% safe until the reinstatement is approved. I know a lot of people are asking about asylum. Asylum may not be an option for two reasons. One is you need to apply asylum within 1 year of entering into the country. Second thing is, if your asylum is a frivolous one, then you could be deported. So I would not recommend doing that. Oh, the thing is, most of the universities are allowing you to continue your studies from abroad and then graduate if you are in the last semester.
Jibran sir, do you want to add anything on the
Okay,
things?
so just wish you all the best. We're gonna try our best to help you all. If you do need our help, reach out to us. Don't send an email to info@Somireddy. Send an email to f1reinstatement@somireddylaw.com. We'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Just stay strong. That's my message. And if you need some inspiration, watch Bhaskar or Pushpa. It'll give you some inspiration. But hang tight. Okay?
Yeah. So to everyone, we are trying to reply to all the emails and we are trying to schedule a lot of calls, whatever we are receiving. We are unable to schedule all calls in 1 day or 2. Please give us some time to schedule it. I know Zibran and Santosh is taking calls from morning 8 o'clock till night 8 p.m. as well as on Saturdays and Sundays too. Please give us some time so that we can schedule many calls, as many as possible.
Also, when scheduling calls, try to schedule as a batch. Don't do, like, for example, instead of every person having one slot, just do it as, like, if you are friends, just do it as a group. In that way, you can save on your money and then save on our time also.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. All the best. Take care.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
sir.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.